Okay, welcome everyone. Thanks for joining us. My name is Shadi Banna, and this session is going to be about how to launch your next ESG initiative. I'm happy to join you from Dubai, lovely sunny Dubai, and hope you're all having a great time joining us from wherever you are. I know there are some participants from the UK, from Qatar, Bahrain, Nigeria. Great to hear from you, and to everyone else that's joining us. So I want to make this session as interactive as possible. So all through, I'd encourage you to chat, with your colleagues. It'll be a good opportunity for you to also meet each other, and to make sure that we are customizing the discussion and the presentation towards your needs and your requirements. So let's kick it off. We're gonna first part focus on the general theme of ESG. Then we're going to go into a mini workshop to help you develop your ESG initiative and the kind of things you can be thinking about. And we're gonna then end it with a case study about a successful ESG initiative that could give you also some further ideas. And after that, it's up to you to take it as you wish forward in whatever way works for you and your organization. So let's kick it off with a discussion about how we find all over the world more discontent coming up, whether it's in the form of people requiring or requesting more diversity and inclusion, inequality being coming up as a theme that is coming over again, especially after the pandemic. So you could find that all over the world, there's discontent with how things are being run. And we are all hoping that we can work towards a more equal, more prosperous society. On the other hand, we could also see the impact of climate change all around us. And it's not something that we expect will happen. We are seeing the effects of more extreme weather, more droughts, more floods, really taking place on a daily basis all over the world, more fires. It's heartbreaking to see what's going on all over the world. And this isn't really something that came out of the blue. A lot of these issues have been realized for some time back. And in particular, in 2015, all of the UN member states came together to create the Sustainable Development Goals. And the focus of these goals were on 5 particular topics: people, planet, prosperity, peace, and partnerships. And it was a great opportunity to get the whole world together to rally around the same goals and objectives that are in everyone's interests. And it was one of the unique times where we found governments working side by side with corporates. And these Sustainable Development Goals have become a blueprint for our work in general, whether it's, again, governments or corporates. On the other side, corporates have clearly started to make a better choice, where they realize that they can't also go after profits at all costs. This is why you find that companies are now focusing on the triple bottom line, where the people, planet, and profit are the kind of things that they try to address, and not just look at profit, which has been the case in previous decades and the previous century for many companies. And this has, brought up the topic of, or the concept of ESG, and helped us focus more on environment, social, and governance issues at a corporation and country level. And hopefully by focusing more on these ESG principles, we'll be able to create a better world. And the good thing is that this has become a driving force. We could see that investors are investing more in ESG businesses. Here's a quote from Bloomberg Intelligence that $53 trillion of assets will be ESG, a third of global assets under management. And it's also clear to many corporates that if they focus on this ESG principles, if they show that they are being more diverse, they're being more inclusive, they're being better or having a better impact on the environment, they're not polluting as much, they are giving back to their communities, when they see that they're doing more of that, they are actually seeing an increase in profit. There are many consumer surveys and surveys that have been out there that show that people are willing to pay extra for companies that show a good ESG commitment. So investors are investing more in ESG. Customers are rewarding companies more in ESG. So it's all set for us to focus more on this, on this aspect of business and not to go back to business as usual. However, I mean, in the past couple of years, we've seen a lot of what is called greenwashing, where companies take a product that is already polluting, already harmful for the environment, and they repackage it in a way that sort of looks like they're doing well, or they're doing something better for the environment. That is now being called out and becoming quite apparent. So companies are not able to be as, or not easily able to show the greenwashing efforts that they're doing as something that they're really doing to support the E part of the ESG. On the other hand, many companies focused on doing small initiatives, social initiatives here and there, some volunteering work here, a workshop to, on diversity there, a training, a few training sessions here and there. But those small initiatives don't really have an impact socially at a large scale, at the scale that what is needed to create real change. So even those small initiatives are not enough anymore to create real social impact. And then a very recent story, I don't know if you saw on the news, but even this is a Washington Post quote from 2018, but actually yesterday it was the same thing. I mean, after the outage from Facebook on WhatsApp, Facebook, and Instagram, Mark Zuckerberg came out and said, I'm sorry again. But again, this issue of always being sorry or saying that we're sorry, but not demonstrating real governance, not demonstrating real transparency, or in the case of social media, not really communicating well the algorithms that are being used that have biases in them, they're not being transparent about what is happening. All of these kind of issues are now, companies need to up their game to demonstrate really good governance, that they're not hiding money in tax-free zones, that they're not really creating these algorithms that confirm certain biases, etc. So governance is also something that hasn't been addressed really well. What is needed is real impact, real solid, big ESG projects, initiatives that really create large-scale impact. If we really want to address the challenges which we just discussed, it needs to be approached in a much more large-scale way. And one way to do that is through large-scale empowerment. If we empower a large number of people around us on the particular topics that we're focusing on in ESG, that would have a really great effect, because it's a chain that then will propagate across. So we need to think of systems and ways in which we can do large-scale empowerment. On the other hand, we need to also get these empowered participants to innovate, create solutions towards the challenges we're working on, towards the ESG angles that we're focusing on. So this balance between empowerment and innovation is needed to really create these large-scale initiatives. So large-scale empowerment and innovation is needed. I'm going to go through three core elements that we believe are essential in any of these kind of initiatives. The first element is stakeholder engagement. When you're working on any particular topic, you need to address the target audience. So there's a certain number of beneficiaries that you want to immediately impact. But if you just focus on them, as the examples I gave before, where we go and do a workshop to a certain community, and that's good, but it's not strong enough. I mean, there could be much more impact if you look at those target beneficiaries and identify who are the stakeholders around them that can reinforce whatever message, whatever program, whatever initiative we're working on. So stakeholder engagement, bringing everyone around to rally everyone around a common cause towards the target beneficiaries, is an essential first component of any of these large-scale empowerment innovation programs. The second part is we need to create platforms and systems. Again, one-off initiatives, if they're not being used as part of a larger program, a larger platform where we can learn and optimize and keep on improving, they get lost because we can't really capitalize on them. We can't capitalize on the efforts that were done. So you need large-scale platforms that allow you to take what you're doing and bring it to a much bigger audience and be able to integrate the different elements. You could see, for example, this is the framework we use in Potential when we're launching any of these initiatives. It usually has 3 stages. The first stage is to reach and raise awareness to a very large number of population, could be tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands of users, then take them through a development process that empowers them, and then showcase the best talent that comes out of it, all in a plug and play sort of platform that allows us to scale these programs to reach hundreds of thousands of people without really having a huge manpower or women power behind it. So platforms that can allow you to scale your initiatives are very critical as a second component. And the third component, which has been really missing in the ESG space and the CSR space, and I mean, all of these social impact aspects, is reporting standards. One of the challenges that companies have had in the past is how do we really measure the impact of what we're doing? How do we compare an initiative that we're doing here compared to another initiative opportunity that we may have? So a very good model that has come up is a model by the Impact Management Project. I'd really encourage you to go into this in details. We could we'll hold future sessions where we go into a little bit more details on this. But these are the 5 dimensions that you could measure the impact of your projects and allow you to report objectively about how much impact is being created and done, and to allow you to measure objectively the return on investment and the return on the impact. We're gonna go over these in the case study, so I'll leave the part where we go into details of each of these segments in a practical case study so that you really grasp them. But I encourage you to look at it, search for Impact Management Project, and look at the way in which this is these reporting sort of elements are coming to play across leading organizations that are spearheading this process. So as mentioned, stakeholder engagement, platforms, and a way to measure the impact of what you're doing is the best way to launch these large-scale initiatives and address the very important ESG challenges we're all facing. The important thing to realize is that this doing good or creating impact goes hand in hand with creating profits. We really want to reinforce this, because a lot of people think that, oh, if I'm doing some social activity, and even some foundations are actually forced to ensure that they're doing social activities that don't have necessarily a business impact. But I'm a big believer that we should figure out ways in which we can create impact that will also reinforce our business. And there are many opportunities to do that. And we'll talk about some of them as we go forward. But when you see it from that perspective, from that angle, you could see that these programs, these ESG initiatives become sustainable. They get everyone to rally behind them, the business users, the CSR users, all the management of an organization or a government entity would then be able to come together because they could see that this is having an impact on the community, on the environment around us, but at the same time, it's not harming our profits and our business outcomes. So that's the first part. The next part is going to be a mini workshop where I'd like you to think of your specific ESG challenge or focus area. And I want you to go through the couple of steps we're going to address here, 4 steps, as you answer the questions that are relevant to you. And if you'd like to chat as we're doing this and give us any of your comments or thoughts, please feel free to do so. I'm going to open up the chat as we're going ahead, and just to see if I've missed anything on the chat. So lots of chats, but so far all good. Welcome to South Africa and Egypt. I haven't welcomed you in the beginning, but I can see we have Heather from South Africa and Hedi from Egypt, so welcome. So is everyone ready now to go into the mini workshop? Let me see on the chat. And think of the ESG angle that you would like to apply in your context, in your business. So let's kick it off. First step is for you to choose your business and impact objectives. So you might be choosing to, you might have an initiative, for example, a social initiatives that aims to empower women so that they can participate in the workplace. You might be able to launch an empowerment program to support youth in finding jobs. You might be launching an empowerment program to help farmers reduce water usage and thus save the environment. So there could be an empowerment angle to your ESG efforts, but at the same time, you might be looking at another way. I'm looking at, I am an organization, I'm an oil company, for example, or a transportation company, and I'm looking at solutions from the community to help me come up with better ways to reduce environmental harm, or to come up with some new areas. So it might be an open innovation model where you're looking at the crowd to innovate with you sustainable solutions, that are in line with your ESG priorities. Or it could be that you are putting together some policy or some process and you want to gather some market intelligence about what is the current situation in the marketplace, and that would be your primary objective. So step one is you choose one or actually all of these areas or any other area that is a priority for you. So that's, of course, the first step of us taking this journey, focusing on our business objectives or impact objectives aligned to our strategy, and then take it from there. Step number two is that you want to target a certain audience which will be primarily affected by your business objective or impact objective. So, I gave some examples earlier. You could see over here some other examples of the target audience that you would want to, empower or innovate with or get some insights from. So that would be the second step. So first step, choose your business or impact priorities. Second step, choose your audience. And the third step is you want to think of something that will incentivize that target audience to come and be part of your ESG initiative, whether it's that you could offer them investment or incubation if they come up with a great idea, or you can offer them with some jobs or internship opportunities, or even on a contractual basis, some freelancing work on a particular area that you want them to work with you on. So, for example, the example I was giving before, if you're looking at supporting women to be included in the workplace, maybe you create that program. So your business objective is to empower women so that they are participating more in, let's say, coding and technical skills in your organization. The target audience are women who are graduating from university or unemployed. And the incentive in this case could be that you will offer them some internship opportunity for 3 months in your organization, where you could then evaluate the best ones and possibly offer them some jobs. But even that internship opportunity could be really great for their CVs if they're looking for a job. So that would be the sort of incentive that we could put together to attract that target audience to join our programs. So that's an important third step to think about, especially now since we're competing with distraction of many other channels. So we want to create some messaging that excites the target audience so that they do spend some of their time with us instead of spending their time on Netflix or Facebook or their studies or other things that they would already be sort of using their time for. And that's why this incentive step is also very, very critical. The fourth step is think of UN SDG areas that are important for your organization or that are important for you to innovate around. So that could be used as a fuel for the program. And the case study I'm going to show you in a second will include all of these elements put together. So you can see how you could create really large scale programs that bring together the priorities on the SDG front with the different business and impact objectives that you can work on. But again, think of this from your side. So is that clear? 4 steps. If you think of these 4 steps, you can then create a very simple ESG program that can be launched to your community. And from our side as Potential, we'd be ready for anyone who's attending the call today, the webinar, to give you access to a ready platform on the empowerment or innovation track. So we'll give you a coupon code, and this is all free as part of our CSR work ourselves as a company. We'll give you a platform that you can then pass on to your target audiences to work on a specific business or impact objectives you worked on, and to give you the reporting and insights that we were talking about in the program. So, and I'll share some more details again from the case study about how can this be done. But our program and our platform allow you to create many models of these kind of initiatives where you bring the ecosystem together. You are able to launch your campaigns, track it, and bring people into this learning journey that also empowers them, because they can turn that learning journey into actionable solutions that could be good for their community, or they could turn this journey so that they are applying for those internship positions or opportunities to be showcased or recognized. And in that process, you basically are able to turn such a platform into an empowerment, open innovation, hackathon, learning, or sustainable impact or market intelligence platform. And those are the kind of systems that really make sense now when you launch these large-scale ESG initiatives. And what we've tried to do, for example, as Potential, we've been doing this for now over 15 years. It's been a long time. And we've continuously tried to simplify this process, because it used to be very difficult to launch these large-scale initiatives, whereas now, with the use of these platforms, it has become much more easier to do so. So let's get into a case study so that you see what I'm talking about in action in one of the programs that is running on our platform. And it tackles predominantly the environment and social aspects of ESG, but also there was a very important governance component to it in the form of real goods, transparent reporting, impact reporting, etc., that comes under the governance of such ESG initiatives. So this case study is with HSBC. We've been working with HSBC for many years, but this specific program was kicked off in 2018. And it started off from a challenge that the HSBC team actually found or realized in the region, in the Middle East and North Africa region in particular. So they found that there are 2 elements that sort of are compounding a big challenge for the region. One is that there are many millions of jobs that need to be created in the coming period in the MENA region. And the region has one of the lowest average ages in the world. So a very high youth percentage of the population are youth. The other big challenge that is also compounding this issue is that the MENA region is one of the most affected globally when it comes to water scarcity. So 2 really big challenges. And HSBC wanted to think about a way in which they could work on trying to address these 2 challenges. So we worked with them in the same 4 steps that we discussed earlier. And we thought that this challenge could be turned into an opportunity where we create an innovation and social entrepreneurship program that enables that target audience, which in this case would be youth that are 15 to 18-year-old across actually 7 countries, not 6, that's a mistake, Algeria, Egypt, and some of the GCC countries. And the program will focus on 3 SDGs, Sustainable Development Goals. First, we started off with the SDG 6, which is clean water and sanitation, but then we expanded it in 2019. So in 2018, we started with a pilot where we tested the model out, and then we kept on growing from then till now. And the focus areas has been over the past 3 years, SDGs 3, 6, and 13, as you can see here: climate change, water and sanitation, and good health and well-being. And the incentive, going back to the steps we discussed earlier, is that we would reward the best participant, the best talent, with prizes and incubation to help them turn their solutions and turn them into real solutions that can have viability in their community. So that's the opportunity. Now, the next step is to design the program. And what we did is create a program called Tatawar. Tatawar in Arabic means to develop. And we brought together the stakeholders, as you can see on the side here, because we're talking to youth. We wanted to excite the youth by attracting them to come and win prizes, as you can see on the left-hand side of the screen. And then on the right-hand side of the screen, you could see how we brought in the stakeholders around the youth, the teachers, the parents, the NGOs that are involved, judges that could be involved that would like to contribute, or volunteers that would like to contribute to the program, and schools that would like to take this and launch it in their own environment. So the idea, going back to what we discussed first, the element of bringing the stakeholders on board was really very important, because we can do an effort of reaching those target audiences ourselves, but we can compound that effort many times when those stakeholders are also helping us spread the word, are also helping us in launching the initiative. So that's how the solution came to be. Now, I was telling you earlier about one of the important things is to raise impact. I can see Dania raised their hands, but I'll finish with a couple, 2-3 more slides, and then we can open up a discussion, Dania, and anyone else that would like to ask any questions. So here you can see the impact dimensions of this specific project. So what we were trying to do is raise awareness on UN Sustainable Development Goals, because we found out actually through the research based on the rolling out of this program that 60% of the youth hadn't heard about the UN SDGs, which was quite surprising for us. But that was sort of one of the objectives, is that we want to make sure that all the youth, as many as we can reach, have an understanding that there are these goals that everyone's working towards. And we want to try to let people know that there are many resources available to them to help in addressing those kind of challenges in their communities. The second aspect of the what is that we included an education track where there's over 2,000 hours of social entrepreneurship. It's self-paced, self-driven, where we let the talent and those youth take the initiative and go into the learning and create their own innovations themselves. And the third element is empowerment, where we take the best solutions, the best talent, and work and hold them through the process of enhancing their innovations, working on the UN SDGs we talked about. And the target audience, as you saw here, as we discussed earlier, the targeted youth and the ecosystem around them. And what we did is we created this rollout that happens on a yearly basis in 6-month cycles, where we reach over millions of viewers to know about the UN SDGs. We have over 20,000 hours in each cycle of self-paced learning hours that are consumed by the youth, that are then taken and used to convert their learning into actionable solutions. Then we pick the best 250 solutions, which we invite to fab labs, fabrication labs, or maker spaces to build the solutions. And then we take the top 20 from those and we put them in an acceleration program, so that we help them learn how to crowdfund, how to go and get, a lot of these participants who made it to the top 20 have been incubated in several incubators to take their journey further. And the contribution to this is that we are taking the youth, teaching them how to turn a challenge into an opportunity, giving them all the tools they need to do that, and to learn the skill that is important for anything that they would basically be able to, any problem they're facing in their community. So it goes beyond what we've created as problem cases in this program, in this ESG program. And the risk if we don't do this initiative and these kind of initiatives is that we will have this youth graduate or drop out of school without really an opportunity to know that they can launch their own businesses, that they can create solutions that could help their communities and make money from them to sustain them and sustain their families. So that is the risk if we don't do this kind of intervention. And like I suggested earlier, I'd really encourage you to go and research this impact management model of impact reporting, because it really guides your thinking when you're evaluating which ESG initiative shall I prioritize in the coming period. And you could see here how we've mapped it to this specific program. So that's from the impact or the empowerment approach and the angle. Now, the benefit when you launch such a program is we have this other approach, this other angle, which is this innovation approach. So it's not just about empowerment, it's also about innovating and being able to create this funnel that identifies the millions from, starting off from the millions that engage or see about the program and the different elements, to those that actually engage with the content, to those that actually build the innovations, then the ones that build the prototypes, then those that get mentored, and finally with those that get showcased in terms of top talent, and then become an inspiration for the next cycle of, or the next cohort that comes into the next cycle of the program. And in that innovation process, we engage the industries, we engage judges, various stakeholders to take part in selecting the best talent. So you get at the end of it really amazing talent out of such programs that have created amazing solutions for their communities and that can, pass this forward and take it forward. So the program has been really successful. Like I said, it was launched in 2018. We've now had the 2019-20 cycle, 2021, and we're currently in the middle of 21-22 cycle. The program actually this last month won 3 awards and was nominated for 2 other awards globally. And it's been really an amazing journey. And this is an excellent example of how an ESG initiative can address the E and the S and the G all in one package in a quite straightforward approach that can easily scale, as you can see, to tens of thousands of beneficiaries and millions of people that could be, touched by such a program. So now the next step is for you to take action. What we're going to give you, like I said, as we discussed earlier, is if you answer these questions that we went through earlier to build your own platform and send your responses to Start Now, we will give you access to a plug and play platform that you can use for free to launch your next open innovation and empowerment program to your community. And it's going to be the basic version of our platform, but it would deliver a lot of benefits to your community and to you. And again, we're offering this for free for anyone that's interested and has a good ESG program that they'd like to launch. You'll get the platform, you'll get some ready to go content, which you can update if you wish. And we'll do a demo where we go through the platform administration and reporting elements. And we'll also do a sort of like a consulting session to walk you through the process of mapping your goals and your rollout plans in your ESG initiative. So that's it from my side. I'm going to open it up for Q&A. I saw there were some raised hands. I hope you feel free to ask any questions, and I hope you found the session useful. Now, if you'd like to ask your questions in the Q&A section, you can do that. If you want to send the questions privately or you want to raise your hand and speak, also feel free to do that. I see we have a question here that the team has just highlighted to me about, how fast can you get such a program up and running? So it really depends on the program and the scale of customization you need to do. But if you go with our offer, where you could go with the ready-made empowerment open innovation platform that we have, that could be ready to go in minutes. So if you now send your, the challenge area you're working on, your answers to these 4 steps, we can come back to you with suggested marketing material and the content which allow you to immediately send this out to your community, again, within minutes. If you want to customize a bit the platform, include your, you could even customize the platform for your own branding, your own look and feel. Actually, what I'll do while I'm answering that question is to share with you the platform of the Tatawar program, so you could see it live. So give me a second, and we're gonna get out of this and move on to 1 second. All right, so I lost the page. Okay, here it is. I'm not sure if you can see this, Rosa, but can you confirm?
No, we're not seeing your screen.
Not seeing the screen. Let me try again. Okay. Screen 2. Okay. Now I presume you can see it, correct?
Yes.
Okay. So this is a sample of the Tatawar platform, the program I just took you through in terms of a case study. You could see, I mean, this kind of program, of course, is customized, and it takes a little bit more longer, but from a platform perspective, it would take us a week to have this kind of platform up and running, if the content and the journey and all of that is already mapped out. That, it would take only maximum a week to get it ready. But you could go with a ready-made platform, as we discussed, and I'm going to show you a few other platform examples so that you, or program examples, so that you just see how what we discussed can be put into different contexts. So this is another program running on our platform to target, to support entrepreneurs, help them raise funding, help them to digitize. You can see, again, same components that we discussed earlier. You can see how the stakeholders come together here, the experts, venture capital, the investors can come in, the governments, corporates, universities. We have different partners that are engaged in providing content, as well as other services. Webinars are integrated, as well as the content. Because we're working with entrepreneurs in this case, there are even some offers that are designed for them, as well as engaging the experts to support them. So each one of these, you could see the different elements we discussed in the presentation being reflected in these kind of implementations. So those are just, I wanted to give you a sample for you to see. I see we have 2 other questions. One is, what is the starting price to launch your own initiative? So if you're going, again, the basic platform here, we said we're going to give it for free to anyone who's interested. If you're customizing the platform, it could start from as low as $99 a month. So it's a software as a service platform, so very light, ready to go. So I also have another question from Saravanan, I hope I pronounced that right. Is the platform that you have supports ESG design for community, or can it be used within enterprises? So ideally, our platform is designed more for communities because of its large-scale approach. But if you are a large organization, that it would also apply internally. And you can take, there's nothing stopping you from launching such a platform internally. It's just that if you are to customize it to your specific needs, we would suggest that that's done. For it to be worth it, it would be done for the community, because then you could get thousands of people to participate, hundreds of people to participate. If you're looking at doing something on a smaller scale with a couple of hundred people inside your organization, or in general a couple of hundred people, we'd suggest that you go with the lighter model of the platform, or the pre-packaged sort of approach, because that would make more sense. But the platform is really very useful for community-based activities, and that's where your ESG programs can really have the biggest scale and impact. As we were discussing earlier, that's where we need more work to be done, because the corporates and the organizations can play a role in their community, and it could be aligned to your area of specialty. If you are a telecom organization, you'd launch a ESG program supporting digital literacy, or staying safe from phishing, spam, those kind of activities. If you are in the transportation space, you would want to launch a program to help innovate new forms of transportation that you could basically benefit from or incubate to do it. So that's the kind of work that can have a bigger impact and can have also a bigger benefit to the organizations that are launching them. So Heather, absolutely, I think the community is important, and like we said, it basically pushes everyone to do more, and have a bigger impact on their efforts, bigger return on impact. Umayma, great to see Umayma's comment here. And Umayma is one of the graduates of the Tatawar program, actually, and she's become she's actually one of our success stories, I would say, who came out of that program and has become an inspiration to youth around her. She's launched her own youth channel to support and pay forward the kind of things that she picked up in the program. And that's been a great journey. We've had Umayma, host many of our sessions as well. So I'm really proud of Umayma and the graduates of the Tatawar program that have now, taken the program and the learnings and the impact way, way beyond that one program. And that's really an example of how you do those efforts and you could scale them. Danya, great to hear your feedback, and glad you found the session useful. If you've got any question, I saw you raise your hands earlier. I'm not sure if it was by mistake, but feel free to ask any questions. And if anyone else has got any questions, we'd love to take them on. Otherwise, we want you to take us up on your offer, take us up on our offer, and send your answers or your thoughts to start now at potential.com, start now at one word at potential.com, and we'd be happy, like we said, to extend to you the free platform to immediately make use of the program to your community or to your employees, if that's what you want to work on as a first step in your ESG activities. And you could see here, my colleague Rauzaba has just put the email in the chat. So if there aren't any further questions, we're going to wrap it up, and we'll be doing many more of these sessions. So I hope to see you join us in future sessions as well. And we wish you all the best and hope you have a lot of impact around you. So I could see Saravanan, can you share further details on the achievement of SDG goals on the case study? Absolutely. So Saravanan, if you send us an email, you could send the email to the same email, startnow@potential.com. We could share with you an impact report about the whole program, which takes you through much more than what I've just shared, the details in terms of improvements of learning, in terms of various metrics that were measured against the main objectives of the program. So we'd be happy to share that with you again as part of our work on the program. Just send a message to startnow@potential. If anyone else is interested as well, we'd be more than happy to share with you the impact report of such a program. All right, so we're gonna call it a day. At least for us here in Dubai, we're getting close to the end of the day. So Thank you for joining. Thanks for your questions and interaction. And we wish you all the best. Again, if you need any support on your ESG journey, feel free to reach out and we'd be more than happy to support. We all need to work together to create a better future for our next generation that comes after us. All the best. Have a great day or evening ahead and look forward to see you soon again.